Hi there. Can you hear me? Sorry, I've got all sorts of things happening here. Okay. How is everyone doing? Happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining me. I feel like life has been busy. How have you been? If this is your first time joining me, welcome. My name is Genevieve Coe, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Markham, Ontario, Canada. And I love kind of creating little experiences for people. And Stampin' Up! Was an easy way to do that because I could get some fun product, I could share, I could play with paper. And it's been an over 18-year journey, 18 and a half years. That seems incredible. I started when my kids were babies because it gave me something for me to do. And it just kind of evolved from there. So who knows what the future holds. I've become I used to be like super, I don't know. I don't know what the word is, super type A personality, but starting to have fun with paper and like organizing different experiences and events, it kind of taught me not to sweat the big stuff or small stuff, not to sweat the small stuff. I guess that's the phrase. And so it's been a great avenue of personal development for me. And I love the friends that I've met. So if you're joining me for the first time, say a hello in the comments. If you're a regular viewer, say hello in the comments. I love connecting with you. Good morning, Rose. Okay. So I'm not sure who else is joining us today. And I know people like to watch the replay, and I love connecting with you. So there's so many things going on. One is there is a new class schedule up for, I guess, April, May kind of months. So it is great if you can join me for any upcoming events. And one that I want to highlight is my Ladies Retreat Day. So it's like a mini version of my Ladies Retreat weekend where you get to come, bring whatever craft you want to work on. And I'm in Markham, and so it will be held somewhere in Markham. So I'd love to see you. And let's get right to our tabletop here. We'll see if we can bring it up on the screen, and we'll do some crafting, and I will chat with you. How does that sound? How many of you have done some paper crafting before? Tell me what you've been crafting. I can't wait to show you what I want to craft today. I just designed it last night. We had an impromptu social, and I wanted to design a card for my Lunch, Laugh, and Craft class next week, but also I'm going to a big convention in a couple weeks, and I always swap cards. So let's get our tabletop here. I am going to turn off the light, and let's see what we're going to create. I think I'm going to use this stamp set. I used it last week, and I'm excited to use it again, but I'm also going to use these blending brushes. If you have never used our blending brushes before, I'd encourage you to get some. You can shop just by going to the link in the description and just look up blending brushes. You're going to see how they're used, and you're going to love the effect. So let me see if I can get my tabletop a little bigger and get rid of that shadow. Hang on a sec. Okay, so I think my tabletop's bigger. I think you can still hear me. Let's see if we can get rid of that shadow there. And I'm going to bring my cut and emboss machine a little closer because we're going to need that. And then we're going to get started. Okay, so say a hello in the comments. Good morning, Linda. This is a card that I impromptu created last night with the help of the Team Stick Stampers. So if you're not part of my Team Stick Stampers, now is a wonderful time to join. We've got one more week to get a free tool. So joining is really easy. You get to pick $165 of whatever you want, and you pay only $135, no shipping. So it's already a great deal. But the best part, and right now there's a special going on where you get a free positioning tool. And so this tool is particularly useful if you're doing multiples, which the card I'm going to show you today, I will be doing multiples because I'm going to try to make like 40 or 50 of maybe 40. I think 50 might be pushing it, but I want to make 40. The card I'm going to show you today, I want to make 40 of them. And so my hand would be pretty tired. And so this actually allows you to position the stamp, position your cardstock, and then just stamp and replace the cardstock, stamp, and you don't have to always keep measuring and eyeballing. So that's what this tool is. You'll get it absolutely free when you join my team this month. So we've only got a few more days left in the month, so we don't want to miss out. Hi, Paulette. Okay, so everything's a bit all over the place because I had an impromptu team social last night. I hate the winter, so anything we can do to make it a little more pleasant, such as getting together with some friends, is a good idea, don't you think? How have you guys been managing? Where we've been, there's been a lot of like snow, cold, storms. So let's start with the crafting. I am going to cut my cardstock 4¼ inches by 11 inches. Okay, so actually when you take an 8½ by 11 piece of cardstock, it's just half a sheet. Okay, and then I'm going to score it at 5½. So our trimmer is awesome for that. We'll just score it at 5½. And that will be our card base. It's like a little tent kind of thing. Okay, so that will be our card base. And then I am going to take, let's see, I'm going to take another piece of cardstock here, and I want to create a layer onto this card. So today I said we're going to use some of these blending brushes. I'm excited to show you kind of the effect that we're going to have with that. I am going to cut it same. I'll just cut a quarter piece of this. But what I'm going to do is die cut a shape to kind of create a layer. Okay, so any scrap you have, I'm using just a quarter sheet of cardstock. And the dies that I'm going to use are these ones. They're True and Faithful, the perennial postage dies. And I'm taking the largest one. Okay, so let me show you what they look like inside. Okay, they do kind of look like little postage stamps. I don't know where this goes. Anyway, I think this probably goes around here. But then there's like this giant one here. So I'm going to use this as a little layer. Okay, so I'm going to use it as a layer on top of my card base. Okay. Oh my goodness, Paulette, your mailbox has been frozen shut for over 2 weeks waiting for the spring thaw. That's what I'm saying. Like this winter has been, at least where I live and I think Paulette is kind of GTA area too, Toronto, Greater Toronto area. It's like been so cold. Usually it doesn't get that cold because we're next to the lake and there's sort of lake effect and it's not that cold. I don't know. And I can't believe your mailbox has been frozen shut. It's kind of hard to get pretty mail but maybe it saves you from looking at the bills. I don't know. Okay, so let's, so I mean, I try to get together with my Team Stick Stampers once a quarter in person. We meet every month on Zoom. So even if you live far away, you can still be a part of our Team Stick Stampers. And we just meet to kind of inspire each other, to, have friendly chatter, learn new stamping techniques. And that's actually what STICK stands for. When we say the Team Stick Stampers, stands for the stuff that we do together. So S stands for stamping, T stands for technique, I stands for inspiration, and C stands for connection or community. So we always try to incorporate those things in what we do. And yeah, so we got together last night. Thanks to all my Team Stick girls that chose to come out completely last minute and drive to me in Markham. We had like a little potluck, so I ate far too much food. And then, some of the girls did what we call a shoebox swap, which means everybody kind of preps like 3 projects. And then they They design one project and then they cut the pieces for it, three little packets, and then they sit in the group and they rotate, and so they make each other's cards. And those that weren't doing that just worked on their own thing or just chattered, and so it was a really relaxing, great evening. I'm so glad that I decided to be impromptu, otherwise it never would have happened. But typically our Zoom meetings are not so impromptu. They're usually around the third Tuesday of each month. So if you want to check it out and you've never joined one of my Team Stick meetings before, come and check it out. See what our vibe is like. We'd love to meet you. Okay, so I've got this layer. Did you see how I cut it out using the cut and emboss machine and the coordinating die? Okay, so Stampin' Up! Has tons of different dies, and this is called the perennial postage. And so this will be a layer on here. See how that makes a really nice layer? The white on white is kind of nice, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to do some blending here. So I'm going to grab my blending brush and I'm going to take the balmy blue and add some color. Okay. And then I'm just going to blend. Now I always start off the cardstock a bit and add the color. Okay. So hopefully you can see this is like just such a soft, sweet way to add color. Okay. You can make it darker or lighter if you want. Okay. So balmy blue, when you stamp it, is darker, but when you use the blending brush, it just gives a softer tone. Can you see that? Okay, so I'll keep adding some color here. And then I can make it darker or lighter, but let's move on. I'm going to use some Daffodil Delight. So our blending brushes come in two sizes. We've got our regular size and our small blending brushes. The smaller ones are good for smaller areas, but I didn't have a big one for yellow, so should probably just buy some more is what I should do. And I always start off and then bring it in. Okay. So what I'm trying to create is a little bit of kind of a soft rainbow effect. I think this would work really well for like baby cards or anything like that. So start off and then add. Okay. We can go darker or lighter. I don't know. So can you see the yellow coming up there? We've got some balmy blue, some Daffodil Delight. Okay, I want the yellow a little darker there. And then let's do some pink. If you guys know me, you'll know that I love pink. Hang on, let me close these. Close these. So a few of the Team Stick girls are also coming to the onstage convention in a couple weeks, so that'll be really fun as well. I will be working there, but I'll make sure to squeeze in some time with my Team Stick stampers too. They're going to have to help me swap my cards if I don't get them all swapped out. Okay, I want the pink a little darker because I love pink. So this is just pretty in pink. I'm blending it in. And hopefully you can see how I'm getting a little bit of a rainbow effect going. And you could choose whatever colors you want. I decided to do these ones. So it's Balmy Blue, Daffodil Delight, and Pretty in Pink. So let me hold that up. I think you can see it. Do you see that? So it's really soft colors. And I wanted to kind of create a thinking of you card. So I didn't want, super bright and colorful, but I still wanted a little bit of just, I don't know. They are still kind of cheerful colors, right? Because I want to encourage somebody. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp a sentiment. I'm using the Prayers and Promises stamp set. And there's one that's nice here. Oh, there's a lot of nice sayings in here. I was going to use this one, keeping you in my thoughts, holding you in my heart, remembering you in my prayers, because that might be nice for it could be for sympathy or just someone who's going through a more difficult time here. So this is where I would, since I want to make like 40 or 50 of these. So what a swap is, if you're not don't know, when I go to convention, I'll show you the finished card because we're going to make it together. But I'm going to make like 40 or 50 of these finished cards. Some people make 100 or whatever. And then when you're at the convention, people don't exchange business cards. You exchange your creativity. It's so amazing. Like the music is blaring, you're kind of like half dancing, half walking around, meeting new people and exchanging cards. There's nothing like it. It's so fun. So even though I'm working, I have to make swap cards. I have to. So this is where when I'm making multiples, this new positioning tool would be perfect, because what I would do, I mean, it doesn't really make sense to do it for one, because I could just put it on the block. It'll be easy and fast to put it on the block and just stamp it. Okay. But just for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to show you how the positioning tool works. Okay. So I would this is just grid paper. They have special grid paper for the positioning tool that locks into these little things here. And then there's a few ways I could position this, but what's easiest for me is just remembering that I'm going to kind of butt it up against these little pegs, and then I'm going to have the edge at the 2-inch mark on my little paper here. Okay, if I had more magnets, I would totally put more magnets. I feel like it needs more magnets, but that's okay. And then what I'm going to do is, I hope my stamp's clean. I don't know if it is or not. Position this exactly where I want it. So the bumpy side is down on the paper. Okay. If I had more magnets, I would put more magnets, because I'm a little worried with this big piece of paper that, okay. And then this, you can push this down. It picks up the stamp onto this grid. Okay. And so now all I have to is ink up my stamp. And so I'm going to use one of my favorite in colors, which is the Secret Sea, and ink up my piece here. Okay. Oh, can you see that? So if I had an ink spot, that would be even better. So those of you that get the kits or get Paper Pumpkin, our crafty box subscription, then you'll have lots of little ink spots. Okay. And then we'll put this on and stamp it down. Okay. And then it turned out absolutely perfectly. I'll show you. But sometimes when you're stamping, you might not get the perfect image you want. And if it was just on the block, you'd have a bit of a hard time lining it up and trying to put it down in exactly the same spot. But with this tool, you don't have that problem, because it goes down in exactly the same spot, and you always get a nice crisp image. Okay. And so since I want to do 40 or 50, what I would do ahead of time is I'd pre-cut all of these pieces, and then I'd, blend all the colors on. And then I would just move this one's done. And then I would put the next one down, line it up with the 2-inch mark, and then go again. And then again and again. So it really helps. Imagine when you're doing your Christmas cards, or if you're doing like a whole lot of baby announcement cards, anytime you're doing mass production, this tool is perfect. So you only have one more week to get it free as part of the joining promotion and joining our wonderful Canadian demonstrator community and my team, the Team Stick Stampers. So I would love to have you join us. The link is in the description. Okay, so far this is what we've got, right? And we've got our card base like this. But I mean, I think it's cute the way it is, but I thought I want to add a little something else. So, I think I left the marker upstairs. So let me see. I'm using one of our blends markers. Let's see whether I have this here. Yay, this is what I wanted, balmy blue. I'm taking the dark balmy blue. Whoa, I'm going to close this ink pad so that I don't stick my elbow in it, because knowing me, that's what would happen. And I don't know if you've ever tried this technique, but it's just called splattering. And our alcohol markers, the lid is very tight, okay, because of the alcohol. Okay, so that's why I had to like kind of get my muscle force, pull it out there. And then what you can do is you can actually flick it against the lid to kind of create a little splatter effect. Okay, so I'm not pushing too hard. I'm just kind of flicking it against the lid. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but let me hold it up there. Can you see those little flicks? Okay, it just gives a little bit of ink splatter. I don't know. Tell me in the comments if you can see it. I can see it. And so what it does is it gives a little effect like you're adding texture. I don't know. Can you see? Can you see that? Okay, so I've added a little bit of splatter, balmy blue splatter. That makes me happy. And then I'm going to take the same stamp set that I used last week, the same little flower that I used last week. And that's what I love about stamping, because you can just do it over and over again and create totally different cards. So let's take our little flower here. And I'm going to go back to using the Secret C. Doesn't that really stand out? It's not black, it's not brown, but it's this beautiful, rich, neutral color. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp a flower here. Just on a scrap piece. We'll use our Secret C again. So what do you think? Do you think I can pump out like 40 or 50 of these for the swap for the convention? Or am I being too ambitious? And then I'm going to add a little color onto this flower. Maybe we'll grab the pretty in pink again. I'm going to use a small blending brush because the flower's a little smaller. And I'm just going to add a little bit of color. Now, when we do blend, sometimes the ink gets in there, but that's okay. So I just added a little bit of color. And then we have coordinating dies for this flower. And we'll cut it out. And we'll finish up our card. Okay, so where's the coordinating dies? I keep everything together now, and since they fit both in this little piece. Okay, and then the shape matches perfectly. We just got to turn it around and find out how it matches. There we go. Okay, and let's get our cut and emboss machine. So I used the larger one before, so let me grab that. So this will be one of the cards that we'll do at Lunch, Laugh, and Craft as well. I don't usually bring my cut and emboss machine to Lunch, Laugh, and Craft, but it was, I actually had to split it into 2 classes because we had lots of interest for March. I bet everyone is trying to just get out of the winter blues. So I'm doing it on Monday and Tuesday next week. So I think I'll have space to be able to put the cut and emboss machine. Everyone can cut out their little flower. Okay. I think I need more blending brushes. I was thinking if everybody's doing it at my Lunch, Laugh, and Craft, I don't want people to have to sit around and wait for a blending brush. I may get a couple more of those. I think I might even have some bonus days coupons to use. So if you shopped in January and your order was $60 or more, you probably earned some bonus days coupons. So if you haven't used it yet, this is your last chance to use it. Oh, I wish I had put my sentiment a little lower, but that's okay. Should I put it here? Should I put it here? Oh, this is nice too. Okay. Audience participation again. Okay, let's see. Well, the reason why is because I want to also use this ribbon here and put this ribbon. Okay, let's do the ribbon first. Do we want the flower on the top and the ribbon going on the left? That's how I initially planned for it to be. So let's do that. Where's my scissors? Okay. This is actually the ribbon from the Valentine's suite. It was so gorgeous. But it doesn't have to be just for Valentine's, so I'm going to keep using it. Let me get my adhesive here. Oops. To advance this a bit. Okay. These little notches on the perennial postage dies makes it really easy to line up. Okay. I'm not seeing any comments. What do you guys think? Do you want me to put the flower on the left or on the top? That was the original plan, but now I'm thinking maybe I want it here. And then I'll just tie a little knot here maybe. I'm just taking a little piece of that, tying a little knot. There we go. I'll have this going over here. Okay, I don't want these too long. Okay, I'm torn. I'm waiting to see. I know there's a delay. I'm waiting to see if anyone has an opinion about the flower. No, I don't think the bottom is right. Okay, either the top here or to the left. Okay, we'll think about it. I'm going to pop this up. I'm feeling to the left, actually. Okay, where's my dimensionals? Dimensionals. Let's get some dimensionals. These are mini dimensionals. Okay. Let's see. Oops. Okay, so pop this on the back here. It's a big panel, so I'm going to put a few dimensionals on. Okay. Peel off the backing. And then our card is almost done. Okay. There we go. That is our finished card. What do you guys think? Now let me see. Did I bring down my version that has it on top? Let's see. Nope. I think it's upstairs. You'll just have to watch my social media. I'll try and post both versions and you guys can vote which you like better, the one on the left or the one on the top. Okay, but my favorite part is the blending and the splattering. That's what I love. Okay, so that is our card for today. I hope it inspired you to create. There's so many beautiful products that make paper crafting so easy. So thank you so much for joining me. Let me flick the light back on and I'll just make sure I'm not missing any comments. Da-da-da. Okay, that is our card. Okay, so thanks for joining me. I hope you had fun kind of seeing how I created this little thinking of you card and how I used the blending brushes, and wish me luck as I try to mass produce it in time for our Stampin' Up! Convention next week. Okay, bye.